What's up, everyone? Thanks for checking out cleanearth.io, and we're in Munich, Germany for IAA Mobility. But one of the things that we're covering is our experience with our rental car, and that's the BYD Atto 3. And so we're giving you our first impressions. We just got the car, so everything that you're seeing is everything that we're seeing for the first time. So we're gonna head to our hotel, which is about 30 minutes away. We'll talk about the car along the way, the things that are cool, the things that are noteworthy, some things that are kind of interesting. So stay tuned, check it out, and hopefully we'll see something good with this BYD Atto 3. All right, let's go. Okay, so we are at Munich Airport right now, and we are in the rental car parking area. And we just picked up the car, so we have our coordinates plugged in to our GPS here. And so we're going to head straight away to it. And as you can see, we've got this great horizontal display here. I don't have the specs on it just yet, but I'm going to say that that's a 15.6 inch display. And so obviously you can see the sort of horizontal orientation right here, nice and wide, very bright, very clear also. And so yeah, we're just going to put our coordinates in here and be on our way and plug that in. And so pardon the German, because obviously we are in Germany, so this is what we get here for the language guidance. I will try to change it when we get the car to the hotel, but for now this is what we have. Okay, so first impressions just driving around the parking deck is the car is very smooth, it's very quiet. It's just got a very nice sort of linear response when you hit the throttle on it. So it responds very well. Maybe a slight little delay on the response at low speeds. And the car is also quite predictable in terms of steering. I wouldn't say it's precise in terms of the car, pointing the car and it going exactly where you want to point it. There's a little bit of a delay, and that is obviously, you know, part of having an SUV is the higher center of gravity, the additional weight. But it is a very smooth ride so far as initial impressions are concerned. All right, so we're gonna back up here and give this guy some room just to maneuver. Now you can see our backup camera right there, nice bright backup camera, so very easy to see where you're going and good view of where the car is. All right, and we'll give him a little more time, and we should be good to go here. I'm just going to stick this card in the machine and we can be on our way. All right, so here we go. Get the seatbelts on and let's see what the BYD Atto 3 has in store for us.
Biegen Sie links auf die Terminalstraße Mitte ab.
All right, here we go. So this is my first time really sort of accelerating in the car, and this car is quite responsive. It is very quick to get up to speed, and when you get on the throttle, it definitely will give a very good response. All right, so we're exiting the airport now. All right, so we're merging onto the highway right now. Okay. And no problem, this car getting up to speed in a 60 kilometer per hour zone right here. So yeah, no shortage of power right here. And again, for an SUV of this size, if you imagine its gas equivalent, this thing would absolutely just smoke a comparable SUV in its class that's not a performance-oriented spec. This thing's got some good power. Okay, so we're up to speed in the BYD Atto 3 at roughly 85 kilometers per hour. It's very quiet. We don't have the radio on right now. There's very little wind noise, very little tire noise from the car. It's just got a really good feel to it on the road. We're gonna accelerate a little bit and yeah, easily pick up speed on this car. We went from 85 kilometers per hour to 112 kilometers per hour in literally a second. And so this car's got very good power. This zone now is going to let us get up to 100 kilometers per hour. So we get to see what the car really does. We're going around a curve right here. Again, the high center of gravity, I don't have that sort of great level of confidence because of the high level or high center of gravity, but still very confidence inspiring. But that does have to be taken into account for a car like this. Okay, so you can see the cars in Germany getting up to speed, and I'm going to similarly get on with it as well. These cars are going here, and yeah, we're able to keep up just as well as everyone else. So the suspension, I would say, is not tight but not floaty either. There is a bit of float over bumps, but highway speed, this is really comfortable. If you think about the type of person who would drive this car, they wouldn't want a firm suspension, but then also when you're going over bumps, you want a car that also is fairly tolerant also, and so the BYD Atto 3 ticks off those boxes as it relates to the ride so far. And again, just very smooth, very quiet feel to it. The seats are also very comfortable, very supportive, especially on the lower back. I just got off of a 12-hour flight, and this is just great on my back right now. This seat is so comfortable, so supportive, and then the side support's also very comfortable as well. So if that's an example, if you have a long day and you just you're sitting in traffic, you don't have to worry about the seats. So we're headed now for 130 kilometer per hour zone in the Atto 3. I've got the car now up right at 135, and this thing's going now. You're starting to hear the wind noise around the car, so there's definitely some turbulence around the upper pillars of the car, but nothing intolerable. I would say speeds at 125 and lower. The Atto 3 is definitely a quiet car, but once you get above that 125, you start to hear it. You can even hear me raising my voice to really sort of battle the noise coming from the car. But again, nothing terrible. For this car, a small compact SUV, really nice. A very comfortable drive, and at least initial impressions. This would be good on a long road trip because the seats are so comfortable. So I'm not doing any efficiency measures yet because we just got the car and we're not fully acclimated to it yet, but that will be coming in the next video. But when we got the car, it was about 375 kilometers of range on a full charge. We're at 348 kilometers. We've traveled about 12 kilometers so far, so it seems reasonably efficient, but we'll get back in another video with more idea of what the car does from a range standpoint. Alright, so we're in a stretch of road here around Munich, and it is very sort of wide open. The road is super smooth, and the BYD Atto 3 is very smooth on this road. I mean, you don't feel any real sort of hard knocks or bumps. The car is quite smooth on a really sort of smooth roadway surface. Again, we're at about 130 kilometers per hour, and you do hear some road noise around the upper A pillar, just sort of whipping around, but nothing terrible. But this car is so smooth on the road right now. It is a bit floaty for my taste when you're going around curves, so I don't feel confident with the car going around the curves above 100 kilometers per hour, but outside of that though, the car is quite nice. Wouldn't exactly do sort of any high-speed maneuvers in a car like this at this speed, but just on a straight road, 130 kilometers, really can't ask for better for something like this, and again, reasonably quiet. Okay, so we're coming off the exit right now, and you'll get a chance to sort of see what the Atto 3 does, around curves at 100 kilometers per hour or greater. Again, as I said, not exactly confidence inspiring on curves at sort of speeds greater than 100 kilometers per hour, but the focused driver is not going to be a problem at all. But for someone sort of more performance oriented, maybe not the most ideal type of car to be in, but the BYD Atto 3 is not for performance driving. But again, I can't say enough about the quality of the ride. And just pull down the visor here and It's a bit of a long visor. It definitely blocks out the sun. I don't think I've ever seen a visor this long here, but hey, I'm not complaining, but it definitely is one of the longer ones I've ever seen. In terms of the interior of the BYD Atto 3, not a lot to say in terms of initial impressions, but there's some things that I'm still not quite comfortable with. So for example, this is the vent control here. I've never seen anything like this before. Because I'm driving, I don't want to really play around with it until I get familiar with the car. You can see sort of the drive console right here. It's really nice, very, very nice materials, and pretty clear in terms of what the buttons are supposed to do. But we'll get back to you in another video about the interior controls and the experience here, as well as this large display. Some of the things I don't love about the interior, like I just think this is kind of some sort of weird kind of design treatment right here for the climate control, and even same thing over there in the corner. The vents, could have more of a polished look, quite industrial looking, if not something you'd see in some sort of factory. I don't know what to make of it, but I don't love it. And even earlier when I was exiting the car, I didn't realize that this is the exit lever right here. So just some really kind of funky things that I've never seen in a car before, especially for first impressions. But again, we'll review that more in another video and give you our more detailed impressions about the BYD Atto 3's interior. Okay, so we just arrived to our hotel in Munich, Germany, and that concludes our 40-kilometer first impressions test of BYD Atto 3. And so far, so good. Really like to drive at both high speed and low speed. Also like the power, really sort of nice power delivery, no matter where you are in the power band. And then also really comfortable, supportive seats. So we're going to continue to test it over the next week. We're going to take it on a road trip. We're going to bring things to you like the infotainment system, the interior, and just what it's like to live with every day. And also what it's like to charge the BYD Atto 3. So we'll bring you all these little details about the Atto 3 to see what it's really all about. But impressions are favorable so far. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And also be sure to check out our upcoming videos with more detailed testing on the BYD Atto 3. Thanks for checking out this video and see you soon.